name's Michael Gilmore, and it's wonderful to be here once again for Whizbang's blog, and I'm also one of the founders of ParkLogic, and I'm here today with Jackson Elsegood from Escrowcom. Jackson, it's so good to see you.
Hey Michael, good to talk to you again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing. We've finally managed to get our technology sorted so we can do this once more.
Yeah, it's amazing, two technology companies and putting together a video meeting can be so difficult.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, that's for sure. But so tell Jackson, what's new at Escrow.com?
Look, we've been working on a lot of stuff in the second half of this year. You know, really preparing to give our site the coat of paint that it's so desperately needed for quite a few years. You know, coming to the end of 2016, I've really been looking back on some of the things that have been released this year and the things that are getting ready to be released in quarter 1 next year that I'm very excited about. It's been a really full-on year.
Oh, I imagine it has. Like a lot has changed. You look at the site at the beginning of the year to now, and it's like completely different. Um,
Yeah,
you've done a lot of work there.
we've there's definitely been some aesthetic changes. The real work sort of goes on behind the scenes and below the surface. The sort of plumbing of the site that had basically needed some pretty substantial work performed to it for a while, and really glad to see that sort of coming to fruition now. You can do a lot of work, I'm sure you'd appreciate, from the ParkLogic side, just working away on something and not see any sort of big changes
Oh
until
wow,
it's
yeah,
actually deployed.
yeah. I'll tell you,
But
we've been working on PackLogic Next for like literally like 18 months or so, and it's finally just about there. But people don't see anything until the last minute.
yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah,
mean, we've made a bunch of changes that are definitely visible
yeah,
on the front end. I mean, everyone saw the brand update in January
yeah.
yeah, of 2016, and that was a big one. And we've refined that as we've gone
Mm-hmm.
along. You know, things like making it work on mobile and stuff like that. That you just, you know, it's 2016. It was time. It was time a few years ago actually to be working on mobile and tablets and things like that. But it's all the stuff behind the scenes, making things more secure, you know, making it easier to integrate escrow.com onto our partnership sites. You know, so many of our sites are started, so many of our transactions are started on other sites, you know, with our partners,
Yeah.
you know, ParkLogic being one of them, where we see these customers come in from other people, and we obviously want to capture as much information about that transaction as we can on that other site before they have to come to escrow.com and
Of
you
course.
know, and complete the transaction there.
Of course. Now, I heard a rumor that you're speaking at NamesCon. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be giving an update on a whole bunch of industry stats. Obviously,
Okay.
we're in a really great position to talk about some of those deals that we've seen completed in 2016,
Yeah.
and where we think things are going to be going in 2017, as well as a bunch of the tools that have been released in 2016 specifically for the domains community, you know, and getting those transactions completed in a safer and faster manner, as well as the things that you know, we want to be working on in 2017.
Well, that's fantastic. Like, any sneak previews of that talk?
Yeah, look, you know, definitely don't want to
To spoil it all.
give away, I don't want to give away the milk and leave the cow behind, but look, it is definitely focused a lot on you know, the security that we're bringing to the site. Obviously, you know, we've done a lot in the last few months, adding new locations to support and things like that. We're really getting close to that 24-hour support metric that's really important to me. You know, we've had I mean, we had a dozen support at the start of 2016, and that's really exploded with the number of transactions that we're doing. And just the speed, you know, a real focus on speed and quality on the site is going to be my focus in 2017. we've been able to introduce during 2016 chat functionality for our support team. We used to have big wait times on the phones where people would call in and then have to wait 10, 12 minutes to get a response time. The response time over chat is less than 16 seconds now at a median, which is really great. That instantaneous help when you need it. And the time for one of our representatives to pick up the phone is always less than a minute. So we're sort of seeing a lot of benefits out of that, as well as just getting deals closed faster. A new tracking team we introduced. So someone actually had this conversation with me a few months ago where they said, look, a lot of my deals, they get held up because the buyer goes AWOL. They just disappear because they've got the domain. What's the incentive for them to log in and release funds and all of that kind of stuff? We actually introduced a dedicated team to be looking at those transactions, any that are more than a few hours old without the person logging in and accepting, checking the who is, having a look at whether the name servers have changed, things like that would indicate that the domain's been successfully pushed or transferred. And just getting in contact with the buyer and ask them to start the inspection period, or even starting an inspection period on their behalf. That's allowed us to get from a position at the start of the year where around about 10% of deals were getting completed in less than 24 hours. Okay. So from the point where the deal is could be closed, i.e. someone might have sent the domain but we're not sure, all that sort of uncertainty, to a point where we're closing over 60% of those deals in under 24 hours, which is something that I really like to see. I like to see those funds getting out the door to our customers so they can start another deal.
Well, you don't get paid, do you? You don't get paid until it's done.
Well, we don't get paid based on interest like a bank does.
Yeah.
So like if you've got a bank, it's in their interest to hold on to the funds for a day or two, and wait a day or whatever to see if they can collect a little bit more interest in the overnight interest rates and all of that kind of stuff. But for us, we hold all of our funds in non-interest bearing accounts, so we only care about doing the next, getting your funds back to you so you can do the next deal or whatever you decide to do with your funds.
Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong. Like you don't get paid until the transaction is complete, essentially.
Correct.
So it's in your interest to get that transaction happening as fast as possible. And I think a lot of the domain community needs to understand that you're joined at the hip.
We basically don't take any of the funds out for anything other than the stated escrow fee.
Yeah.
The exception to that is the disbursement fees, where we have to pay, say, a bank to send a wire transfer.
Yeah, of course.
That's another one that we've really been focused on in 2016. We had a situation at the start of the year where our bank was asking us to pay up to $40 for an international wire transfer and $10 for an ACH.
Yeah.
Which it's if you're doing a $10,000 domain deal, well, it's not it's not the most in terms of paying that out, but someone said to me, I don't like being nickel and dimed, and I feel exactly the same way. I hate paying out those little fees, at the end of a transaction especially. So we went into some pretty aggressive negotiations to get that pushed down. We're now able to offer ACH for free, which is great. It's our most popular disbursement method for US domainers. So that was a really important one to get to be as low as possible, and getting that to be free is a big achievement.
Yeah.
And the next one is we were able to halve the wire transfer fees, which is great. $10 for a domestic domestic wire, which is basically instantaneous. It's usually about 4 hours. We quote overnight, but it's usually much faster.
Yeah.
And international wires are down to $20. And we
So you've
continue to
really
put more
slashed those
pressure on.
costs then. You've slashed those costs.
Yeah. Well, look, we went in with prices that we wanted into that negotiation, and we were able to get those, which we're really proud of.
Yeah.
And look, I'm committed in 2017 to working with more payment providers and more banking partners to allow us to continue to push those rates down.
Fantastic.
The idea that that we're only working with one bank globally is great for our brand reputation and all of that kind of stuff. But working with additional banks will definitely really help.
That's great news. I must admit the domainer community really appreciates your efforts on that front, and it's good for Escrow.com as well. Obviously, not having as many bank fees and things like that is always a positive.
Well, look, it's something that we don't really make any money out of it, but
Exactly.
it tells our our customers that we're doing the most that we can to try and be on their side, and I think that's really important. As you said, joined at the hip.
Yeah.
We want the domaining community to, or I personally want the domaining community to grow and to see the assets that we all hold to grow in value, and for us to continue trading. It's the way that Escrow.com makes their money. It's the way that the whole community grows. So I'm really excited to see the prices of domains continue to rise in 2017. More entrants to the market, more international players, and things like that is I think on the horizon, and something that's desperately needed.
Wow. So lots of things happening at Escrow.com. So can I just say it's been wonderful having obviously your support this year, but also just seeing the positive changes happening at Escrow.com and across this year, really getting to know you, and the fact that you're out there batting for domainers, and obviously for Escrow.com and the business as well. But I know you live, breathe, and sort of eat escrow now, and it's like you've got it in your DNA.
Unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, it's not really a choice. We've moved to the 24-hour model for support. We want to move to 24/7. I split my time about 50-50 between our offices in San Francisco now, and our offices in Sydney and Vancouver. And keeping a hold on all the communities around the world. It is really a 24-hour and 7-day-a-week job. I can't think of a time when I've been more than about 12 hours away from reading something on NamePros or reading one of your blog articles or something like that. And you do need to jump in with both feet. Something that I think we as Escrow.com need to do better is get involved in in the businesses of our customers, bringing on a whole bunch of new support people and things like that. It's great for the numbers. It really drives the time to pick up the phone down and things like that. But that's something that needs maturing. That's something that needs time to build up that trust. And again, in 2017, I'm really committed to building the relationships between our support and our account management teams and our partners and the community. And I say this every single time I get to talk to you, but if anyone has any feedback that they'd like to share, I speak to people every single day about how we can do better. My email address is out there for everyone. It's jackson@escrow.com. So if there is anything that is on the top of people's minds, I'd love to hear it, and please don't hesitate to reach out.
Fantastic. I know you make yourself very available, and you're going to be at NamesCon, which is wonderful. My wife, in fact, I've got my daughters are coming to NamesCon this year, which is be good, and awesome. It's going to be great to catch up with you once again there. But in the meantime, I would like to just wish a Merry Christmas to all the domaining community out there, and I'm sure you'd love to as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I must be. You get to Christmas, you go, oh my gosh, I made it a few days off just to catch up on sleep.
Uh, I'd love to say that, but Michael, actually, this is the first Christmas that we're not closing.
Oh
So
wow. Okay.
normally we take quite a long Thanksgiving break
Yeah.
and things like that. We didn't close over Thanksgiving this year because that having 4 offices around the world means we can stay open.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we're still doing our normal processing across the Christmas period. So
Fantastic.
it'll be a Merry Christmas, but it'll be a good Christmas for deals as well.
Well, anyway, Jackson, thank you for your time. Always really appreciate hearing from you, and look forward to talking to you in the new year.
Michael, see you at NamesCon.
Okay, see you then. Thanks a lot for that. Bye.